Janet Robin, and I'm here to talk about Randy Rhoads. I'd like to thank Simon for inviting me to discuss my time with Randy for his documentary. I'm going to answer some questions here. What had inspired me to play guitar before receiving lessons from Randy? Well, my brother actually inspired me the most. I grew up listening to Led Zeppelin, Black Sabbath, Deep Purple, Heart, all these bands, and loved all the music. And you know, I kind of copied my brothers. When they took karate, I took karate. When they took guitar, I took guitar. He started on acoustic classical folk guitar, and I started taking lessons after he did, and I really enjoyed it. And that's kind of was the initial inspiration for getting involved with playing guitar. When did I start having lessons with Randy? Well, as I said, I was playing guitar already. We were both, me and my brother, were taking from another person, and we got a referral to check out Randy Rhoads. We didn't know who he was or anything. You know, he was teaching at his mom's music studio called Musonia, and we found out that was right around the corner from my parents' house, and so we wanted to switch over to electric. So my brother started taking from him first. When I went to Musonia, I didn't start on electric right away. I took from another woman named Arlene. There for about a year, I think, still on acoustic. And my brother was taking from Randy, and he just would come home raving about his guitar teacher. And I really wanted to switch over to electric. I begged to get an electric guitar. Finally, I got a Fender, and my parents let me started taking from Randy, and it was amazing. I think at that age I was about, I started playing guitar at age 7, 6 or 7, I think. And when I got to Musonia, I was about 9, and I think when I moved to Randy, I was about 10. And quite young, and I believe at that time I was the only female guitar student that he had, and also the youngest. I heard recently that he had another female guitar student, but I don't think she was there very long. So, but he was great. He didn't treat me any different at all. I just loved taking lessons from him. Is there any funny stories I'd like to share of my time with Randy? Well, I have a couple of. I found him very interesting. He would sit in. We studied in a little tiny room, and he played through a tiny little Fender Tweed, tiny little practice amp, and he would smoke. He was kind of a chain smoker, and he'd always have a gigantic cup of Diet Coke. And I don't know why he drank Diet Coke, because he was so skinny. But I found that very interesting. I do remember later, when I was about 14 or so, he came out after the lesson, and my mom was waiting to take me home, and he went up to my mom and he said, Janet did really great today. You know, when she gets older, around my age, she's going to be better than me. And I couldn't believe he said that. I thought that was pretty funny, because obviously a big compliment. And I think by the time I did reach his age, well, he had passed away already. I think I was about 24 or 25, and I was nowhere near as good as he was at that age. But it was really nice to be around his energy, because he was like that, and he was very dedicated musician, and very inspiring to be around. Did I ever get to see Randy live? Either with Quiet Riot or with Ozzy Osbourne. Unfortunately, I didn't get to see him with Ozzy. He did come through LA on one tour in I think Long Beach Arena, and I was too young. I wasn't driving yet, and so my parents wouldn't let me go. But when I was young, and still taking from Randy, he was in Quiet Riot. They were a big band here in Los Angeles, and they used to play a lot at a big club down in Hollywood called Starwood. It was very famous back then. Van Halen used to perform there, and when Led Zeppelin was in town, they would stop by and play. But anyway, yeah, I would go with my parents and my brother to go see Randy play with Quiet Riot. I was like, I don't know, 11 or 12, and it was amazing to be there. I'd be in the front row watching him play, and he just looked like this gigantic, you know, guitar monster. You know, it was like awesome. I enjoyed the whole band, but I really was focused on watching Randy, because it was quite quite something else to see him play. I do have actually a funny story relating to seeing him live. I think the day before, or it might have been that day, I had a lesson with him, and he had a gig that night, and he was getting sick, and I was telling him about my dad, who was really into vitamin C at the time, a new vitamin C that had come out that was in powder form, and he said, "Oh, please, can you tell your dad to bring some to the show tonight?" And I said, "Absolutely, no problem." So we brought some of this crystallized powdered vitamin C in a baggie, and we brought it to the Starwood. And after the show, we went to say hi to Randy, and my parents were with me, and we handed him the bag. And somebody stopped us, like security, and said, "Hey, what is that? Are you giving him drugs or something?" They thought it was cocaine, you know, but it was really just vitamin C. And I don't know, it was really funny. We were laughing about it, and Randy was laughing about it too. After Randy left for Ozzy Osbourne, did I continue my lessons at Musonia? I did continue studying at Musonia. After Randy left, this guy named Craig took over. He was a good teacher. I enjoyed it quite a bit. And then he moved on, and this other guy, Steve Sonnersberg, took over, who I think was also a student of Randy's. And he was great. Him and I really connected quite a bit. He had a lot of studying, varying background in his background, blues, classical, all kinds of stuff. And I was a better guitar player at that point, so it was really cool to be there and still be in Musonia and taking also from yet another student. I think I missed a question here. What was Randy's teaching style? So I'm going to talk a little bit about Randy's teaching style because it's really important. So yeah, it was pretty casual. He was an unusual teacher in that he wasn't very traditional. I did some reading and finger picking and stuff like that in my classical and acoustic lessons. But with Randy, it was all electric. And although he was studying classical himself, our lessons consisted mainly of kind of jamming. He would show me a progression. I would learn the progression, like a bar chord thing, maybe also with some riffs, with a riff, and then he would basically solo over all that. And it was amazing to watch him solo. Half the time I would stop playing because I just wanted to hear him play. And then he taught me a lot of scales, and when I got good enough on the scales, he would then show me some cool riffs, all those hammer-ons, you know, pinching and palm muting and all the pull-offs and everything that he's famous for. He showed me a bunch of stuff like that when I got good enough after the scale modes. And yeah, we would just sort of switch off. Then he would play progression and I would do some solos and show him my riffs that he taught me. And yeah, they were half-hour lessons. They went by rather fast, but he did a lot in the half hour, and it was intense, but it wasn't you know, boring at all. It was great. And a few times one time I brought, I think, my cousin a couple times. I just wanted to, you know, show my cousin, show off my guitar teacher to my cousin, because Randy was really special, and he was a really good teacher. And also I want to mention that we did a lot of blues. Like he was really into blues, I think. People don't know that. If you talk to his other students, I think you'll find that out. He taught me, you know, the blues scale, and we did a lot of stuff in minor pentatonic. And I know he liked Hendrix. He liked Jimmy Page riffs and things like that. We did a lot of blues progressions, so it wasn't all metal. I just want to say that it was actually really a lot of blues and just straight ahead classic rock. How much do I feel that my own style, if at all, is influenced by Randy? I feel a lot of my style is influenced by Randy. Well, first of all, I do have a little bit of a bluesy rock thing in me, and I got that from Randy. I also got that from listening to all the music I grew up. But as far as my specific guitar style goes, even in my acoustic playing, I'm doing a lot of acoustic now. I do some pinching and some fast hammer-ons on the acoustic guitar. And that's obviously influenced by him. I learned all of that technique from him. Also my songwriting. Some of my songs start off with a guitar riff, and that really came from Randy too. A catchy guitar riff that happens throughout the song. He kind of inadvertently taught me a little bit about songwriting. So still, yeah, I'm influenced quite a bit. And then down the line, I got gigs and played with various other people and got influenced by them. Let's see, after Lessons with Randy, what did I go on to do? Well, yeah, as I was starting to say, so yeah, I got influenced quite a bit by Lindsey Buckingham. I got a great gig with him. But before that, I was in high school. I got in a band, all-female band called Precious Metal, and we got signed to a few record deals. And when that gig ended, about a year later, I got a great gig with Lindsey Buckingham, the guitar player from Fleetwood Mac, and he was really inspirational to me. Perfectionist, a total pro, and that was kind of a big gig for me. It was an interesting band he put together, 5 guitar players, 2 percussionists, a drummer, bass player, keyboard player. It was a 10-piece band. We did a couple of big tours, one opening for Tina Turner, and it was a really professional situation, and he expected the top from us, you know, and nothing less. But he's a great songwriter and a great singer, and I learned really how to sing in that gig, and he inspired me a lot about songwriting and production. So, and then after that, I did that for, gosh, only I think about 3 years, and I started doing my own material because I got so inspired by working with Lindsey, and I'm still doing that, of course. And in between that, I've gotten gigs with Meredith Brooks, Michelle Schacht, who's a Grammy Award folk singer, and most recently last year I went on the road with Air Supply. They're a big band from the 80s. I did that for about 6 months. But all along, for maybe about the last 10 years, I've been doing my own music, releasing my own CDs, touring all over, and doing a lot of stuff overseas as well. And I would like to mention that I just finished a new CD, and it's going to be released all over in Europe. I got a record deal in Germany, and it's coming out all over the European Union, including the UK. And it's called Everything Has Changed, and it's being released under my name, Janet Robin. So hopefully you can look for it. It's coming out in January 2010. Looking back through my own musical career, what was my most cherished moments? Well, I'm happy to say I have a lot, I think, with Precious Metal. I was really young when I got in that band. It was exciting to be in the recording studio for the first time. We played a big gig in Mexico, I remember. I think there was about 25,000 people we played in front of. That was tremendous for me. I'd never done anything like that before. And then when I got the gig with Lindsey Buckingham, that was very exciting as well. Playing those hit Fleetwood Mac songs and being on the road with him, I had to pinch myself a lot. I think one of the best gigs I enjoyed doing with Lindsey was opening for Tina Turner at Radio City Music Hall in New York City. That was really exciting, and I enjoyed that quite a bit. And most recently, with my own stuff, I've been touring quite a bit, and overseas. I've been going to Prague and the Czech Republic and doing a lot of work there, and I've been playing some festivals, open air, 5,000, 6,000 people festivals, and that with my own band and my own music. That's really exciting as well and very fulfilling. And I always try to give 200% when I perform, and I'm hoping that everybody in the audience is enjoying it as well. So, well, I hope that gives you a little insight about Randy Rhoads and a little bit about my music. I really appreciate being part of this film, and Randy will never be forgotten. He was a magic person, and I enjoyed my work with him, and feel very honored and lucky that I was able to meet him and have him be a part of my musical career. Take care.